Hey, what's going on, everybody? Joey Jayping here, checking in live, respectmyregion.com. I'm here with Morgan Paxhia, Managing Director of Poseidon Investment Management, and we are at the Benzinga 2023 Cannabis Capital Conference. How you doing today, Morgan?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you asking. Thank you for being here with us. It's the first interview of the morning. We're going to get rocking.
All right.
All right. So here at Benzinga, what is Poseidon Investment Management? What are you guys looking for?
Yep, we have been investors in the cannabis industry for 10 years. We've invested in all different types of companies, different stages, but currently we are focusing on earlier stage, like new retail openings in states like New Jersey or even Illinois, Ohio, Maryland. So some of these newer markets where we can be getting in on the ground floor.
That's very exciting. That's very exciting. With all those new markets, a lot of exciting growth there. Is there any specific things or maybe a person that you really look to invest in any of these areas?
Certainly, team is a big factor for us. We want to make sure that we have good partners, right? Because when you're investing, it is a partnership, and there's oftentimes these investments are years long. So we do look at people quite a bit as a big factor. We want to make sure that they are smart about business or looking to be, if they're open to it, that we can work together. We bring a lot of experience as investors in the space for 10 years. So we look at a lot of different capacities, but certainly quality is very important to us.
The human element sometimes has been called that difference factor, right? It's one of those variables that can sometimes be good or bad in those situations. When it comes to the investments that you guys have done over the years, from technology to the other sectors of the cannabis industry, what have you enjoyed working in the most, and what do you really look forward to as cannabis clearly continues to change?
Oh, cannabis, that's all we know is change, right? It's amazing. We think of ourselves at Poseidon as builders, right? I mean, if you think when we started investing in cannabis, the legal industry, the adult use legal industry was $0 in sales. This year it's going to be over $30 billion, right? And so we've been a part of that along the way, whether it has been with operators or with technology companies, like we were early investors in GTI is a great success story in our industry, or technology companies like Headset and Flowhub, that are really helping to elevate the space. So there's a lot more to go from an access building perspective. That's why we focus on retail. We want to be able to get more legal availability to consumers across the country, especially in markets where they have good regulatory frameworks. The
framework portion of it provides the structure for how you can roll out a lot of the different things. You mentioned GTI and also the technology companies that you guys have helped build and scale. For this particular event, is there something that you've kind of been watching and catching? Is anybody on your radar, or is there anything that that's coming down the road that you can drop? Is there an RMR exclusive for us?
Ooh, we met a really interesting team from Georgia yesterday, and that is a very interesting market. And so it's, when you come to these events, it's all about who you meet, and you never know who you're going to meet. And so that was just I really loved talking with those guys last night. So it sounds like they're doing some really interesting stuff. Our friends, Good Day Farms out of Missouri, building a great business. These are private companies, so it's really interesting when you can be talking with private companies and watch them grow up and eventually become public companies. And it's really amazing to see this industry grow, but it still is so young, and there's a lot of twists and turns along the way.
It's funny. We walk around, and having only been in this legal cannabis framework for 7-8 years, people are calling us OGs in the space, and it's like,
you are,
in this awkward long time frame, we obviously don't feel like that because we've been watching other people for 20 and 30 years. With all of that, time comes experience to some degree, right? For you, what do you feel that you've learned in the last 10 years? Is there something that stands out? And what is something that you can share as some free game for people?
I think it always comes back, when you're talking about investing, it's really important to have process, right? And we know cannabis is an emerging market, and so we don't have too many fast and hard rules. We certainly have good investing principles and process. And I think that is something, as money, especially with some of this regulatory change going on potentially, which is super exciting, and we'll see how this continues to develop, specifically with the rescheduling. We see 280E rolling off. The cash flow differences for this industry, are just dramatic. And so capital is starting to look at the space again, which is great. But we've seen cycles like this before, where capital gets excited and they move too fast and they make a lot of bad decisions, bad capital allocation. They blame the industry when it's really their process. So that's why I think it's really important to think about, this is a long game. So if you're going to come into the space, do your homework, talk to people, come to events like this, like Benzinga events are great, because there's a lot of knowledge in this space. And I think the good groups are using that knowledge and building on it, and not just being like, this is the way it works and that's it. And so
that's huge. Yeah. That's huge. You guys better pay attention, man. Tap in, research, do create a process, right? Create principles, follow a process, and do your due diligence to figure out what's really going to work for you guys, because this market is crazy all the time. So you got to really, try to tap in and learn what you can. So Morgan Paxhia, I appreciate you being here with us today. Make sure you guys tune in. We're coming at you guys live from Benzinga 2023 Capital Conference. Man, you guys are killing it. Poseidon Investment Management. We'll see you guys in the next one.